Hello everybody, I'm Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, and when it comes to wrestling and you need gear and you need your instruments to play your band, listen to me, I only go where the best is. And I go to Laredo, to Ace's Boots. Check these right here out, man. Good wrestling boots, and they last forever. Don't send your money out of the country to get a pair of boots, just send it to Laredo. It's Ace Boots Company. Have a good night.
Santa Monica, down and out again in Philadelphia. From out and I passed out. I finally lost control of myself, and this chatter gets of self-control. More I tried it, more I seem to let it go. Breathe in and breathe out. I finally lost control of my life. Did I get?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Rudy Sepulveda, here in Laredo Liquor Store. Come on over. We are open from Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. We will see you here.
Hey! This is Izzy Moreno, and you are watching Let the Mic Drop.
Before we introduce him, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Cassandro.
Estamos en Cuculandia. Qué lindo es tu cucú, tan bello tu cucú, redondito y suavecito. Qué lindo es tu cucú, cuando te pones pantalón y te toca por detrás, se me suelta el corazón. ¡Cassandro! Te quiero más, no me canso de mirar, pero quisiera tocar. Ándate, no seas malita, yo quiero una tocadita,
No te metas con mi coco, no te metas con mi coco. Yo sé que tienes tu mujer, así que déjame coco.
Cuando te pones pantalón y te tocas por detrás, se me salta el corazón y te quiero más y más y más y más y más y más.
Si me pongo pantalones y me golpeo detrás, nunca faltan los mirones como tú y los demás.
No me canso de mirar, pero yo quiero tocar. Anda y no seas malita, si quiero una tocadita.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, here we have the queen of the ring, the diva of Juarez. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassandro. Hello, welcome to the Ringside Farmhouse. Please take a seat.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor of having me.
No, thank you. So how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm happy that I got invited to do Laredo.
Well, wait, we're happy to have you. Is this your first time here performing, either visiting or?
No. I've been here many times.
Oh, okay. Well,
Laredo on that side and now on this side.
both sides. Very good. That's great. So you were born in
El
El
Paso.
Paso. You are a native Texan.
Yeah, El
Great,
Paso,
fantastic.
Texas.
That's fantastic. What was that? What was it like growing up in El Paso? Did you grow up in El Paso or?
Both. It's border, so it's
Yeah.
El Paso and Ciudad Juarez.
Oh yes.
I would. My parents are from Chihuahua, Mexico, but we would go to El Paso Monday through Friday because of school, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday go to Juarez, and that's where I got introduced to lucha libre. And but all my schooling was done here. So I practically lived in both cities, and I was raised by Mexican parents. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's a lot of us on the border towns. I was
Mhm.
born here in
Yeah.
Laredo, and kind of like you, spend our time here, school, and then go across Nuevo Laredo to visit the grandparents.
And party and everything else.
Yeah. You mentioned Ciudad Juarez is where you got into lucha libre. When did that start? At what age did you first discover wrestling? I guess as a fan.
It was the television at first, because the movies, the El Santo and the Vampiras contra las Momias and all that stuff. But my first show, I think I was around 8 or 9 years old in Ciudad Juarez. They would do shows every Thursday and every Sunday, and I would only go to the Sunday ones because of school. And I was just like amazed by and then back then the gym it was like what 13,000 people that would be in that place, so it was huge, and I got to see all the old timers, and I got so excited and adrenaline, and after the shows I would run because I only paid I had money to pay ticket all the way up there, but when the show was over I always ran to the ring, and I got into the ring and started but I never thought I would be a wrestler. I thought that was too scary for me.
How did you then get into wrestling? Was there something you did before or something that led to that career? How did you get into professional wrestling?
No. I've always played sports. In junior high I was a football player, and then high school I was a tennis player, and I was in the Navy ROTC, and I was in band, and I did a lot of activities. But back then I was training at the gym where the lucha libre shows were, but I would go for back then it was called aerobics. I would go to do some aerobics and stuff, and my friend was like, "Hey, come do lucha libre with us." I'm like, "Hey, you're crazy, I don't do that, that's too hard for me."
How old were you around that time?
Like 15, 14, 15, and I was like, no, it's too scary for me. And then all of a sudden she said, "Hey, I talked to my teacher, Victor Ojeda, that he used to wrestle as Bismarck, and he's gonna let you train to see if you like it." And I'm like, "All right, I'll go." And I remember still the first day that I went and trained, and they kicked my butt, and I ended up with fever, and my whole body was hurting, and I said, "I'll come back for more."
Oh, that's great. What was that first day like? I mean, what were you expecting going in, and then what was the reality?
I wasn't expecting nothing. You know what? I did it with the wrong intentions and the wrong motives. Like, I want to see who the guys are there, man. I want to see what's all that about and stuff like that. Because it's luchadores were about superheroes, and I had my superheroes, and there was this guys that used to wrestle at Zorro y Látigo, and I used to love those guys, and I would love watching them wrestle and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, maybe I could meet them there or whatever. And I mean, it was so hard back then training. It was 3 hours a day, and it was hardcore training. And
What was some of the?
first we did like an hour and a half just running, jumping, and cardio and tumbling, and then it was all about the rolls and more, and then it was very skilled, or everything that the teacher was teaching was very detailed. Like, no, you do it like this, and then if you wouldn't do it right, he would just say like, "Do it again," and you would do it again. He was like, "Do it again," and I was like, "Well, what am I doing wrong? Tell me what the."
Right.
He's just like, "Do it again," and then at the third try, he would say, "Go in the back of the line."
Wow.
They wouldn't correct you until you look at everybody else, and it was very tough. And I was like 16 years old, but I loved it, and it was like I found something that I loved. And I kept going, and I never left. That's 26 years ago.
Wow.
This is my 26th year.
You had quite an impressive career. You know, it's about 26 years. From there, from the training, what was, I don't know if you remember your first match or your first couple of matches. What was it like when you finally started performing in front of audiences?
When I started wrestling, first I became friends of wrestlers. The Negro Casas, Rey Mysterio Sr., Blue Panther, and Angel Blanco, and everybody else. I was in America and I had a car, so they needed somebody to take them over and do shopping and buy their vitamins and stuff, or to the airport. So I got to hang out with them. And then when I told Rey Mysterio, you know what, I'm training to be a luchador and stuff like that, he goes, really? I knew you would get into it and stuff like that. He gave me my first name, Mr. Romano.
Oh, okay. Mr. Romano.
And he put a mask on me. So he designed, we went to this hotel where they all used to hang out, and he did the designing, and he said, you're gonna be Mr. Romano, this is how you're gonna go do your gear. And
Well, what was the mask like?
it was black with open like this, because I have puffy hair, not too much like right now, but I had puffy hair, so it was like this, and it had like a Roman's mouth or whatever.
Okay.
And it was just a trunk, and then I had a little, for presentation, it was a little jacket, and it was very simple. And my trunk had in my butt it said Mr. Romano.
Mr. Romano.
And that's how I started wrestling as a rudo, because Rey Mysterio told me, first wrestle as a rudo and wrestle with masks to see how you feel. This is the thing that I thought nobody knew that I was gay, but everybody knew except me that they knew.
Okay.
So that was like
public secret. As it-
yeah, like, I mean, I always say, like, I was never in the closet because I never had a closet, but, you know, like, the real coming out was hard.
Oh.
It was back in the 80s, so, you know, and then lucha libre is machismo, and it's all ego and arrogance, and so it was hard for me to do that transition. So he goes, wear a mask. And I did for 6 months. It only lasted 6 months. Then there was this opportunity to work in the big gym, in the big company, with television and something, but they wanted an exotico.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh no. And because of there was this soap opera on TV called Rosa Salvaje, way back, like in the 88s. And they said, you're gonna be Rosa Salvaje, and I was like, all right, I guess. I kept that a secret from everybody, from my family and from everybody, until the day that I was gonna wrestle. And I asked a friend for a bathing suit, I asked another friend for pantyhose, I asked somebody else for something to wear and stuff like that, and that's when I came out.
Were you
But
wearing?
I wrestled 6 months in the little arenitas around Juarez, and I went to Chihuahua and little cities from there, but it was nice. People would pay like 5 pesos to get into a show, but it was like, but ever since that time I knew that Lucha Libre was like a free therapy show.
Okay.
Because people just go and scream their guts out and throw stuff to you, and it was like that until I became a professional. That was October 15th, 1988, when I wrestled as a professional in Ciudad Juarez como Rosa Salvaje.
How old were you then?
18.
Oh wow, so you were still very young.
But I started wrestling at 17.
Wow.
And then Rey Mysterio took me to Tijuana for the first time, and he goes, we're gonna go 15 days to Tijuana, but I don't like the name Rosa Salvaje. So you better pick a name that's gonna be you, and that's it. So we went back to that hotel. We started writing a lot of names, and then he came up with Cassandro. He said Cassandra. And I said, no, I'm already too gay. I don't need a gay name. I'm already too name. Cassandro. Cassandro's fine. Then when he told me the story of Cassandra, I was like, that's my name.
Well, what was the story? How did he explain?
Cassandra was this vedette, they call them vedettes back then, a prostitute or a stripper, and she used to like escort ex-presidents and presidents and politicos, and she would get the big bucks. So she made like a big house for battered women, beat up women, and hungry kids and stuff like that. So I liked the story, and I said, okay, I'm gonna become Cassandro. So when I went to Tijuana, that's how I started wrestling as Cassandro. And I went and met the lady. She was already like really old, and she gave me a book of her life, and that inspired me.
That's good. That's fantastic. Did you start off as a rudo? Was Cassandro was a rudo? What was that?
I
like
think
working-
I was a rudo until 2003.
So you
All
had
my
a
life.
very long career.
All my life I was a rudo. I never liked technico too much.
Uh-huh. That's really old school where a wrestler will just be either a rudo or technical
technico.
for their entire career. Guys like Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair spent most of his career as rudo, and not like today where they just jump back and forth. Everybody.
No.
So you worked mostly as rudo.
As rudo.
What was that like being openly gay, working as a rudo in lucha libre, especially 80s, 90s?
Yeah, it was a little bit tough because there's still that rejection that when people label you as a homosexual, it's tough for them to focus on your work instead of focusing on your sexual identity. And so that was a hard thing to do.
Are you speaking about the fans or the wrestlers themselves? Both.
Both.
Okay.
Because when I started, even the luchadores that were already big in Ciudad Juarez, they stabbed me and beat me up because they knew that I was coming in and I was pushing hard and I was a good wrestler, but that I was gay. So I went through that, and then the fans also, they go and scream their lungs out and stuff like that. But until they started focusing on my work inside the ring, they're like, wow, he's really a luchador.
Yeah.
I'm like, finally. Because I had to do double the work than any other wrestler. I had to prove myself. Why was I in the ring?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but don't go away. We will be right back with more from Cassandro.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. And when it comes to wrestling and you need gear and you need your instruments to play your band, listen to me. I only go where the best is. And I go to Laredo to Aces Boots. Check these right here out, man. Good wrestling boots, and they last forever. Don't send your money out of the country to get a pair of boots. Just send it to Laredo. It's Ace Boots Company. Have a good night.
¿Qué tal? Les habla el jefe, luchador profesional de AAA y Pro Wrestling No en Japón. Y esto es para recordarles, precisamente hoy, a punto de irme a Japón, que donde yo lavo mi coche, donde lo cuido y todo, es en Aqua Express, Best Car Washington. If you're in Laredo, make sure that you come, stop by, and take care of your car, just right here, Aqua Express.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Cassandro. We're just going over his career. We've been talking about lucha libre, but I know you've been involved not just as a wrestler in Mexico, but you've traveled. You've traveled all over the world. England, I believe you've been there. You've been throughout the United States.
7 times UK. I go and teach some students over there, 3 different places, 3 different companies. I've wrestled at the Museum of Louvre twice with El Hijo del Santo. I've wrestled in France, in Paris, in Biarritz, the biggest film festival for America Latina. That was a match with Sangre Azteca at 11:45 p.m. in the middle of the ocean. And this is thanks to all the documentary. I have a little short documentary that came out in 2010. So that's taken me to many places. I've been 4 times to Japan. I will be leaving in Japan July 22nd. I have a tour coming up from July 22nd to the 29th. And then I go back to Europe October the 30th to November the 10th. And there's the movie coming out, the Cassandro movie coming out about my life.
Is that what it's called?
It's Cassandro Goes Bullfight. And it started like that, me going to see the little midgets bullfighting.
Wow.
And I never knew what was going to come out. So the movie's coming out. That's the whole uncut stuff of my life. I talk about my abuses, mentally, physically, sexually, when I was molested as a kid. I talk about the discrimination. I talk about everything that I've been through lucha libre, how I became a big drug addict and a big alcoholic because of lucha libre, the ego, the just to be part of, because back then in the luchadores in the dressing room, you get out the ring and they will like offer you a beer, and I would say like, no thank you, and they said, well, what the hell are you doing here, get out. So that's how I started drinking, and then do this and then take that, and I was like, alright, I guess I gotta do it just to be part of the big ones. And then, so I talk about everything. Cassandro is very, well now I'm almost celebrating 11 years in recovery from drugs and alcohol. So now I get to be a mentor and I get to be a motivational speaker. And I went to some universities, I go to high schools, and I've done Chicano study classes, and I go to La UNAM de Mexico. This year we premiered the movie de Los Exóticos. It talks about how the Exóticos started and all about the Exóticos, and it focuses a lot on Pimpinela, My Flower, and Cassandro. And I'm writing a book about my life and my story, and there's a lot of things coming up. I went back to my roots as a mexica, my indigenous roots. So now I'm into dance azteca and the spirituality, and for me right now it's all about the healing. It's all about the healing all that inner child, all the abandonment issues and everything that happened to me, and I just get to do that. A lot of sacred ceremonies, and that's what keeps me focused and alive, because I truly think that I would have already been locked up or dead if I would have continued using in this business.
How did you get to you say it's all about the healing? How did you get to this point of healing? You
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom. I went to prison 3 times. Well, not even prison. I went to county jail 3 times in El Paso, and then I went to an annex for 18 days. And then I was in a prison in Juarez, Mexico también. I beat up some cops on a raid against homosexuals, and so that stuff got me into a lot of dirty mess. So I just hit a bottom. First I had to discover who I was not,
Right.
to discover who really I am. Today it's all about the love, the hope, the courage that anybody that's going through anything can heal. You don't have to overdose. I overdosed 3 times, and one time in Tejano found me almost dead in the house. Pimpinela found me in the bathroom when I tried to commit suicide a week before I did the championship match against El Hijo del Santo because of the peer pressure. Because the lucha and boxing commission didn't want that lucha to happen. The managers of El Hijo del Santo didn't want him to wrestle with me because I was a homosexual. The wrestler was like, why does he get a chance for the championship belt and stuff like that? So I'm coming from a dark side and on dysfunctional family, and I sabotaged it. I went into the bathroom and I cut my wrist and I almost died, and then a week later I wrestled for the match, and those fuckers that first didn't want me to wrestle, they came in like, oh, congratulations, what a great match, and I'm like.
But I guess that's a good testament to your wrestling ability, that you were actually able to turn some people's minds around. Like, look, just saying that you are gay, but look at the in-ring work.
Yeah, it's because not every gay is the same. Like, there's bad influences of gay, but we are not all the same. There's people like me that I've been there, that's why I talk about it, but this is the other side of it. I've been through the black side, but now I'm trying to stay in the white side, and I'm trying to give that positive message that it's okay to be you, to have that freedom, because a lot of people, that's why they commit suicide. Look at the little kids that die by bullying, and because they don't have that freedom to be themselves. So for me, it's about being who you are and be okay with you. And that's the message that I give today, that with my experiences, I try to heal a lot of people. And I, like in Europe, I went to Europe, and this guy came up to me and he's like, oh, Cassandro, I just want to let you know that I became a wrestler because of you, and now I'm gonna even be an exotico because I'm a gay guy, and I'm like, wow, that's so nice. So today, at 26 years later of being a luchador, I get to be a witness of all the pain and suffering and the bleeding that I had to go through to open the road. Today is not that hard as it was for me.
I can't imagine.
Today there's even transsexuals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Mexico and many parts, so I'm like, all right, whatever, but still, we're not all the same.
Yeah.
And not because I'm a homosexual, it doesn't mean that I'm not homophobic, because that was one of my hardest lessons that I learned too, because we just try to eat dog, and you always want to be more or feel less, and it's always a fight.
Yes, especially in professional wrestling, it's very competitive.
In professional wrestling, that ego that's not my amigo, it's so huge, and the arrogance and the self-centeredness and ego. This business is This business has been the worst thing that has happened to me, but it has also been the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me. Because through Lucha Libre, I got to see who the real me is.
I think that's a really great message, not for some of our.
How many
younger
people haven't
viewers out
died?
there.
How many
Yes,
people haven't died?
Just
Because of what?
all the
Chris, Eddie, everybody.
Warrior, everybody.
Abismo Negro in Mexico and many other more that we don't even know about. And I would have been one of those. I would have been dead if I would have continued using and looking for those escapes, because I didn't want to deal with all that stuff that's in here.
I think it's very fortunate that you managed to turn all these negatives into these positives, into a positive message for younger wrestling fans, and you've given people something to look at and say, if he can do it, I can do it. My life, I'm struggling right now, but I can pull my life around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fantastic message to send out for not just for wrestling fans, but for anybody who struggles through their life. Because even in 2014, it's not an easy life, whether you're gay, straight, or anything. There's all kinds of problems.
Look at the crazy shit that goes on in the world.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. We're going to go ahead and take another quick break, and we'll be right back with more from Cassandro.
Santa Monica, down and out again in Philadelphia. Strung out and I passed out. I finally lost control of myself in this enchanted place of self-control. More I tried it, more I seemed to let it go. Breathe in and breathe out. I finally lost control of my life. Did I get?
This is Tessa Blanchard, the first ever female world heavyweight champion, and you're watching
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Cassandro. We're going over his career. We've been talking about some of the darker times. Let's talk about some of the brighter times. Do you have any particular favorite matches or favorite opponents that you want to talk about?
Well, I guess every match is important. I love my job. I love what I do. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I became an adrenaline junkie. I like to jump off balconies and do all this crazy lucha libre moves nowadays. And
you have a very, very high flying style.
I do, even with 3 surgeries already in my leg. I have a plate with 8 pins on the left one. I have 2 ACLs and a meniscus tear on the right one. I just found out a month ago that I need urgent surgery on my left leg, but I told the doctor, urgent for you, not for me, because I got to take care of some dates. And I got some tours coming up, but the plate needs to come out. And I have PCL and ACL tear and meniscus. So right after I come back from Europe in November, I go directly to the surgery room and I'll be off for 8 months to a year. But I mean, I've done very important wrestling matches when I became a world champion against Lasset on November 22nd, 1992 in Toluca, and that was for UWA. Another one was 2011 in London, in UK, for the NWA versus Dr. Cerebro. I've done matches against mano a mano against Pimpinela Escarlata, which is one of my bestest friends and enemies.
One of your tag team partners.
He was one of, well, the story started, we were hating each other.
Oh, okay.
Because of course, queer versus queer, and then we became the bestest of friends, and I guess that's the longest friend that I have in the business to this day. And Pimpinela has been there, and I've been there, but we also have had strong fights.
What was that like going up against him? What were your?
Well, in the ring it's totally different. In the ring it's okay, we're gonna kick ass and let's see.
Put on a great show.
Put on a great show and let's see what's up. But I mean, it's always tough in the ring because people don't know that sometimes you have to wrestle when when you're feeling sick, or when you're tired, or when you're hurt,
Yes.
or when I just buried my grandmother and I had to fly to El Paso, go to the Rosary, and then fly right back to Triple Mania, and I couldn't see her burial or go to her mass because I had to go to work. And I missed out on birthdays, on baptisms. I missed out on Mother's Day. I missed out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
a
it's a
lot-
lot of lucha libre is a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of
Yes.
you have to sacrifice a lot of family and stuff like that.
There's a lot of sacrifice of time and your body as well. And
Look at me. I'm turning 44 May 20th. I've been wrestling for 26 years. My body tells me otherwise, like that I'm like 80 years old. Everything hurts. I have a torn ligament in my shoulder and rotator cuff, and I don't know. I've been 7 times in the hospital for head concussions, and this is my second pair of new teeth. The last one was 3 months ago when LA Park kicked me and cracked my teeth, and 3 surgeries, 1 coming up. I do cortisone shots on my back almost once a year, and because I don't want to do surgery on my back. And I've been paralyzed for 18 days from 1991 in Querétaro, Mexico. I did some estacas with El Celestial, which used to be Black Man, and so I've been through hell and back in lucha libre, and you know what? That I found out that I've never thought when I became a wrestler that I was gonna get hurt.
really,
Isn't that weird? I've never thought I would be like this, the way I am.
I think probably a lot of people might hope that they don't, but
I never
what
thought
was
that
your
my
first-
body was gonna be like this.
What was your first major injury?
I guess when I got in Mexico, when I started at the Toreo de Cuatro Caminos, the paralyzed thing. Yeah, because that was weird. I used to do this crazy move, and Black Man threw me with his feet, and I used to bounce off the third rope. But that time I went out of the third rope,
Wow.
and I just crashed, like my head touched the bottom of my ankles, like, and I just and I couldn't move from my waist down, and they had to drive me 2 hours and 45 minutes from Querétaro to Mexico. And I was paralyzed for like 18 days. And then at the 19th day, I had to sign papers, and I drank like half a bottle of tequila, and I did some dope and stuff, because that's the 19th day was the championship belt with Lasted, and I got crowned as champion. that day.
Wow. So 19 days after being paralyzed, you were crowned
I got up.
champion. That's incredible. That's incredible.
It's tough, lucha libre world.
Thank
People
you.
don't know all the stuff that goes inside and out, but it truly is very hard being a luchador. And then it's very rewarding, you know, the fans, the connection. For me, I have that connection with the fans. I have something. And a lot of people tell me, oh my God, you have this glow, you have this light, and you know, people can see through you.
Yes.
And my life is like an open book. I don't deny nothing. I talk about everything. I let the fans know and everybody that a luchador struggles, that he cries, that he hurts, that we suffer and stuff like that. I'm not like this big hard hero that, you know, it's all about me. You know? I'm just a human being.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yes. And what can the Laredo fans expect from Cassandro? I know you have a match coming up Saturday, April
Yes.
26th.
4 versus 4.
4 on 4. Let me take a look at the list here. We've got yourself, of course, Cassandro. You'll be teaming with Silver Kid, Devolution, and Red Dragon, and you'll be taking
Champions.
on You'll be taking on Black Magnum, Professor Diabolico, Extreme Warrior, and a mystery opponent.
Who would that be?
I don't know. How do you prepare for a mystery opponent?
No, how does he prepare for me? No, you know, every show for me is very important, and I'm here to give the best that I can give. The fans get their tickets worth. Whatever they pay, they're gonna get more than that. Because for me, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to do the best thing that I can, and then I'll make my opponents work. I'm not one of those that talks like for 8 minutes and then wrestles 2 minutes. No, my talking is in the ring with my lucha libre talent. So the fans are gonna, I'm pretty sure they're gonna love the match, regardless of the outcome.
Yes.
Whatever it is, I'm here and I'm honored to be part of this event, and it's gonna be a great match. That I know.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and we'll take another quick break here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Cassandro.
Les habla el jefe, luchador profesional de AAA y Pro Wrestling No en Japón. Y esto es para recordarles, precisamente hoy, a punto de irme a Japón, que donde yo lavo mi coche, donde lo cuido y todo, es en Aqua Express, Best Car Wash in Town. If you're in Laredo, make sure that you come, stop by, and take care of your car, just right here, Aqua Express.
I am Iron Body.
I am Iron Body.
I am Iron Body.
Yo, Lunchador here, and you're watching Let the Mic Drop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Cassandro. Now, Cassandro, we've been talking about your career. As you mentioned, you've been all over the world, the Americas, Europe, Asia. You've been part of a lot of big name companies, AAA, ROH, Chikara, TNA. Tell us a little bit about Lucha Vavoom. Tell us about that.
Lucha Vavoom, that's very important for me, because Lucha Vavoom, I've been there for, this is my 10th year, and I'm the booker for them, and I help them manage a lot of the Lucha Libre. It's burlesque and Lucha Libre, which we don't mix a lot, but I take care of the Lucha Libre part, and then Rita D'Albert and Liz Fairbairn are the owners. And this is something really pretty. It's really nice. It's very exciting. We get a lot of people that goes there, sold out shows. It's very different. It's very unique. And we've traveled a lot. We went to Australia for the big day out last year, and that's where we're going in Japan with Lucha Vavoom. So Lucha Vavoom is very crazy. It's very nice, and it's like a Circus du Soleil in the ring.
Wow, that is very unique. That's
we have the best burlesque dancers. We have the best aerialists. We have the best luchadores come from Mexico. We always use them in the midgets, and it's something to expect the unexpected in Lucha Vavoom.
It's a show.
It's for 21 and over because of the titties and everything.
21 and older.
And sometimes, like in Chicago, they do it 18 and over,
Oh,
which is good. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Then there's a summer show for that's the anniversary, and then it's October shows, and then for Halloween, and then it's the February shows for Valentine's. So it's a theme. Yeah, it's a theme, and they have the most amazing characters. Dirty Sanchez is dirty, and then they have the chickens, and we had the little chicken, but now he's Torito over there, and that was our chicken.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
That was our chicken, and well, the Sin Cara was there too with us, and.
That's right.
And there's another one that I won't tell you, but he's about to go.
Oh, okay.
And he's already signed, but Lucha Vavoom is very talented and very unique, and I get to work there, and I get to experience all the sides of it, and the girls do a fabulous job.
That's great.
And I'm the number one. They call me the Liberace of Lucha Libre.
That's a good name.
Because of my glamour, because I do a lot of glamour. So.
That's great. That's great. And we had mentioned your movie earlier. Your documentary is going to be coming out. Right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick look at the movie trailer. So here's the trailer to the Cassandro movie.
Y vamos a darle la bienvenida a una leyenda del cuadrilátero. Leyenda dentro de lo que es lo exótico. Señoras y señores, chiquita pero picosa, la reina del cuadrilátero, Cassandro.
Nena, ¿cómo estás, Cuco? Estamos en Cuculandia.
Maricón. Eso es lo que es un exótico luchador.
I've been gay all my life, and people can tell like a mile away that I was a little Tinkerbell. So what happens? They smell you. It's like a dog, man. And then they get you.
Soy Doctor Maldad. Los rudos somos privilegiados por el diablo. Somos lo único que deberíamos estar aquí en la tierra.
I'm only gay up my ass, but you come and get me right now and you'll see who I am.
You will leave with pain.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Cassandro Goes to Bullfight. I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans, and not just wrestling fans. I think anybody who's really interested in a documentary, a good documentary.
You know what's happening with Cassandro's life?
What's happening?
Cassandro's not only about lucha libre. Cassandro's being part of la cultura. That's how I've been going to a lot of museums and film festivals. I got to be at the Academia de San Carlos in Mexico, which that is huge.
Wow.
And there's this photographer, Annick Donkers from Belgium, that she's doing this amazing work, and that's where we're going in Europe, and we're going to Santa Fe, New Mexico. T.H. Hunter, which is the director of the movie, he's amazing. This is, I talk about everything right there. Everything you want to know about Cassandro, it's there. And we're gonna get it everywhere.
That's
so
great.
There's a lot of things coming out.
Anybody who's interested further in the life of Cassandro, be sure to check out the movie. Cassandro, any final thoughts or words for our fans next time you come down to Laredo? What would you like to leave our fans with? Any messages, anything?
Well, first, it's an amazing treatment I'm getting here in Laredo, and for the fans, please keep supporting. Remember that you guys, the fans, make us the wrestlers. And for me, I'll continue to give the best that I can, and the support and the love that you guys give me, I give it back to you inside the ring, and continue to support la bendita lucha libre y que nunca se acabe.
Absolutely. Cassandro, it's been a real pleasure having you here, telling us all about your life, holding back nothing. This is
What you
definitely
see is what you get.
Absolutely. This has definitely been one of our biggest shows. Ladies and gentlemen, please check out Cassandro's movie, check out Lucha Lagoon, and just continue
Twitter,
to support
Facebook.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and we'll put up the graphics there for your Twitter and your Facebook as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all very much for tuning into this episode of the Ringside Chronicles. Another special thanks to our guest, Cassandro. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in next time and be sure to keep following us. Thank you very much.
Hey! This is Izzy Moreno, and you are watching Let the Mic Drop.